Toadstools. Dr. Curious and I had been on vacation for 3 weeks, and while we had been away, home had experienced a lot of rain followed by a lot of warmth and sunshine. The result, an overgrown backyard. So, in spite of my deuced laziness, I had no choice but to cut the knee-high vegetation, and so I did. Which is when I realized I had a problem, and one that was no laughing matter. We had had so much rain, the moist conditions were perfect for growing mushrooms and toadstools, and I'd run them all over. Hell, I managed to slice and dice them, cutting off the toadstools right at the stem. Toadstools, home of the little people. You see, I believe in the little people. The little people, the good people, the Gentry, the Fairies. And I want to keep on their good side. It happened like this. One night at 3 a.m., back in the 90s, someone or something rang our front doorbell. And the very next night at 3 a.m., same thing. The second night, I got up and called, "Who's there? Who's there?" No answer. It's never a good idea to throw the front door open at 3 a.m., but that's just what I did. No one there. Just the darkness and cold air. Hey, that rhymes. No one there. Of course, it happened again the next night, and of course I threw the door open. But this time I said, "I don't know who you are, but you can't come in. Unless you're good. If you're good, you can come in, but not if you're bad." That might have been a mistake. You think? I mean, you're not supposed to invite supernatural entities to come in out of the darkness. You're not supposed to allow them in. I'd read somewhere that, in the past, people had put out food or a small amount of money as an offering to the what? Spirits? The little people? In any event, the very next day, in order to ensure the benevolence of whatever I had let in, I put $3 in coin on the table by the front door. Over time, I put small amounts of coin by the side doors and at other strategic points around the house, and I have never touched them, in spite of the passage of time. I look at it as a form of insurance? Paranormal insurance? But in this case, I wasn't sure what to do. I mean, leave cash out on the lawn? Where? On the edge of the lawn? I couldn't figure it out. So instead, I offered up a fervent and sincere apology and hoped the good people would forgive my unintended act of destruction. I awaited developments, and they weren't long in coming. That night, the doorbell rang at 3 a.m. I lay in bed trying to ignore it, but whoever, kept ringing the bell over and over till I finally got up and opened the front door. Nothing. "Please, I said I was sorry," I mumbled, and went back to bed. I had just shut my eyes when the knocking started. At first it was the front door, but when I wouldn't get up and answer, it came inside, and, along with loud, heavy footsteps, came down the hall, knocking on doors, on the walls, on the furniture, on the ceiling, knocking on the headboard of our bed. I got annoyed and threw my pillow at it, or where I thought it was. Anyways, I threw my pillow. Big mistake. Big mistake. My pillow was thrown back at me and whacked me in the face. Hard! And then all the other pillows on the bed were taken up by invisible hands and began to pummel both me and Dr. Curious, who was totally innocent in this affair. Although, come to think of it, she did tell me to cut the grass, which is how the problem started in the first place, so it was all her fault. We pulled the blankets up over our heads, only to have them snatched off. The toilets in both bathrooms began to flush, and we could hear water running, as if every tap in the house had been turned on, and then a brass band began to play from the living room. John Philip Sousa, off key. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I hollered, "Stop!" And it did. It did all stop. Dead. Total silence. In a shaky voice, I said, I know you good people are angry at me, and I know why. But you are wise and must know it was unintentional. I can't undo what happened before, but going forward, there must be a way we can coexist in peace and with mutual respect. And then I had an idea, which I shared with an apparently empty room, and now, by the side of my driveway, in the shade of some leafy trees, the toadstools flourish, safe from the depredations of lawnmowers. I hope the little people, the good people, the gentry, the fairies, won't mind me having shared this story with you. But if they do, I suspect I'll find out around 3 a.m. The moral of the story: do the little people really exist? Why risk it? If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. My name is Warren, and I write and tell original ghost stories and original horror stories featuring such cryptids as the Night Floaters, werewolves, and the Black-Eyed Children. So again, please consider subscribing. Please help me to reach my goal of 2,500 subs. Till midnight. Cheers. The pictures of fairy houses used in today's video were all taken by Dr. Curious, while the music was the classic Lightless Dawn by that patron of the internet, Kevin MacLeod.